this episode of United, Sharp Shooting will show you how to score on the basketball court. Getting active in the community, we'll see what UCF students are doing as far away as New Orleans. And get off that couch, we'll show you 5 ways to do it in our fitness focus. United starts now.
Hi, welcome back here into United. Scott Adams with you. And in a game of basketball, tons of athleticism are obviously key, but also some key fundamentals. And head coach Joy Williams of the UCF women's basketball team now join us, coach. And I know as a young individual, sometimes getting that right balance, that right key with your fundamentals for your shot is ever so important.
It's extremely important, Scott. And a lot of times shooting is what all players want to do. They want to go in the gym and shoot the ball and like to see it go through the net, but what we try to focus on in teaching shooting is really working on the small things, the fundamental things, your balance, keeping your elbows in, where your eyes on the target, those type things. So a lot of small things go into developing good shooters.
And Coach, a lot of the times you don't even need a basketball hoop to practice some of those fundamentals.
No, you don't really. Again, you just need to really focus on elbows, your wrist, that kind of thing following through. We talk about different things. You can shoot against the wall. You can shoot while you're watching TV. There's a lot of different drills that you can have without a hoop. So to become a good shooter, you don't necessarily need a basketball goal at first.
Well, Coach, we now have a couple different keys that you can focus on to honing that basketball shot as we now join assistant coach Greg Brown.
Hi, I'm Greg Brown, assistant coach here at UCF women's basketball, and I'm with one of our seniors, Jessica Hall, and we're going to go through a few shooting drills that we use to warm up with, and it's a great way to work on your own. And the best thing about these set of drills are you don't even need a basket. And we'll walk you through it and walk you through some of the ways that our players warm up each day. First thing we'll do are called wrist extensions, and wrist is where your range comes from. And what we're trying to do is get some flexibility and some strength here in the forearms and the wrist. And it's just real simple. Jessica will go down on all fours. She'll put her palm of her hands up against her knees, and then she'll lean forward up on it and count to about 8. Then she'll turn her fingers back towards her, and she'll sit back on her heels here. And again, count to 8. And depending on ages, with the little bitty kids, a lot of times what we do, we call it the purse drill, like a little girl walking down the street with a purse. With the more mature ones here, we're just working on finding our shooting pocket. And she'll just swing her arm nice and comfortable, and then she'll just cock and lock it. And what she's trying to do is build muscle memory, and that's what all these drills are. And what she wants to look for is that her elbow, her knee, and her toe are on a straight line. Keys for a great shooter is only going to miss long and short. They're never going to miss left and right. So she's going to work on being straight. She'll relax, swing it again. She'll do this 5, 6 times or whatever. And then from there, she'll lay down. This is the one everybody likes. We call it TV shooting because you can just lay in your floor. And it's just TV shooting. She'll put her elbow in at her side. She'll hold it like she's holding a ball, but she's not going to have one. And she wants to make sure that she starts with her elbow down. First drill got us loose. Second drill, what it did was find a shooting pocket, and this is going to work on getting it up in one movement right here. Again, building muscle memory. So she'll shoot like she's got a ball. She'll go ahead and put her balance hand there, good, and then she'll retrace. And that's key because now she's getting one shot with that, and her muscles are remembering the hand going back in the spot. And she'll do that 6 or 8 times, really retracing each step each time. If you do have a friend they can place the ball on, we'll put the ball in her guide hand. Left hand is just there for balance. Same thing, elbow in at the side. She's gonna, and if she does this right, it should go straight up and then come right back down. But for now, I'll catch it. So if you got a friend, they'll be there. And then she'll retrace, and they'll place it back. And she'll shoot, retrace. So we've worked on that. We've got the muscle memory of that. Now we want to work on, again, keeping it straight. So she puts her shooting foot. So if I'm right-handed, it'd be my right foot. If I was left-handed, I would put my left foot on the line. And since a lot of players have small hands going up with a ball that's too big, they hold the ball, then they get it here and they're holding it with their left hand. That hand's not to hold the ball, it's just here to balance up my shoulders. And Jessica, too, it looks like kind of rolling the ball over a little bit. So she'll bounce it, catch it, turn it around, pick her a target, and she wants to keep it straight. Shoot. Good, right there on the line. Somebody will pick it up, toss it back to her. And again, she wants a couple of teaching points. Make sure it's straight, make sure you hold your follow through, and make sure you don't watch the ball with your eyes. You want to keep your eyes on your target, whatever it is. We tell people if you're shooting a gun or an arrow, you don't try to trace it and watch the bullet. You watch your target the whole time. Now we're going to work on, again, getting the ball up and not out. Nobody knows what a phone booth is anymore, but if you can picture a phone booth like Superman used to be in, you want to shoot the ball up and out of that. Too many players, a lot of ours now, shoot the ball at something. She wants to get up close to the wall right here. She's going to bounce it, catch it, turn it around, same routine. And what she's trying to do is get the ball up so that it will hit that wall on the way down. What you're trying to do is get a high 1 second follow through is our teaching point. She wants to get her elbow above her eye, right there. And you'll see the back of her arm out of the corner of her eye. A lot of players, that elbow never gets above their eye. And some are here, some go here, and then cast it, and that arm finishes out there. So this drill will help take care of that. Now the last thing that we do is let them go ahead and start shooting the ball on a basket. She's going to shoot it, and it has to be clean, meaning it can't hit the rim. So until she makes one clean, she can't step back. First, she's got to make it. That one's clean, she can take one step back. All right, let's say that was clean. What she'll do is work her way all the way back, and she'll go all the way back to a free throw. So let's say she's done that, then she'll go one right here through her free throw routine. Let's see if we can put some pressure on her and make it clean. All right, that's clean. Now she's got the green light to go work out, to go to her ball hand, to go to her shooting, to whatever it is. And again, it's the same thing as soft toss in baseball or a warm up on the driving range in golf. It's taking you through muscle memory, warming yourself up, getting yourself mentally ready to go. And you know, it should take you 3 or 4 minutes on a good day.
As you can see, becoming a great shooter doesn't happen overnight. You have to make sure that your fundamentals are correct, along with practicing, and practicing, as repetition can only make you a better shooter. Coming up next right here on United, we take a look at a handful of student athletes who give back to the community that supports them ever so much. That's up next.
Welcome back to United. I'm Megan Clementi. The role of sports in society means different things depending on who you ask. To some, sports is a means of helping the community through a common dedication to service. Here at UCF, members of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee are involved in multiple projects across the community throughout their college careers. We sat down with a few of them to get a glimpse of just how rewarding their contributions can be.
SAC is the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, and it's a group of student athletes that get together twice a month, and we organize just community service activities and different ways that SAC can be involved in the greater athletic community and then the community at large.
For me, as well as other student athletes here, is provide an opportunity for us to get out there and not necessarily get away from athletics, but branch out and expand what we're able to do here on campus.
SAC is definitely a way to bring out other talents in yourself and in others. I think it's a great way to let people know, what you're about beyond just your athletic performance.
It's amazing how much we can do in SAC. It's amazing the things that we do. I'm still shocked at the amount of money we can come up with and the amount of things we can give people and the amount of not parties, but social events we can create for each other. I never knew it could happen until I was a part of it, and I really think that if you don't, if you're not a part of something like this, you're missing out a whole lot, because it's a lot of fun.
I personally get involved because I love to be with the kids, and I love to just, have an experience where I'm doing something outside myself and outside my own goals, for my personal benefit. I think that it's just, so great that we get a chance to be able to give back to the community that's given us so much.
It's not about me, and that's, the main point. I've been given a lot here, especially at UCF. They provide a lot for us, and it's great for me to be able to, give back some of that in one way or another, whatever that may be.
One of our main things that we've been working on is a partnership with the Central Florida Children's Home, where we'll try to get a team out there every month to hang out with those kids and try to get them to come out to some of our events and maybe go to some of theirs.
It's kids that their parents either couldn't or wouldn't take care of them, and we get to go out there and help them and provide them with UCF gear and just fun times. And
it's it's unbelievable to get out there, and because these kids look up to you as a role model,
I think the kids just really love to see, those big football players and those basketball players and players that are basically figures, icons in the community, coming and spending time with them. It just means the world to them.
And it's great to get out there and see these kids and work with them because it's a lot of fun, one. But two, they just sit there and stare up at you, and to know that you have an impact in their lives is a pretty cool feeling.
To see that admiration in the kids' eyes, I don't think athletes necessarily always understand what an impact they can have and how important what they're doing is. But that really brings it home for them. I think it's just so cool to hear someone say, I never knew that these little kids, would look up to me like that and hold me as a role model in their eyes. And so that's a really great experience.
Take it as an opportunity for you to grow and learn also. You may make a friend out of it, you may learn social skills, you may learn things you never knew before. So it's important, just whether they're your same age or you're scared of them or whatever, just take it as an opportunity to learn and grow and just have fun with it.
It helps to stimulate who you are as a person. What you do will define you ultimately. And so if you're able to go out and give back to somebody in the community or somebody less fortunate than you, it could provide a great opportunity for you to grow as a person as well.
It's just the feeling that it gives you walking away, once you're done and once you've, actually made an impact somewhere. It's just, it's irreplaceable. You just know that you've spent your time valuably, and that means a lot to me.
If you would like to be more involved in your community, it's as easy as contacting your guidance counselor to find opportunities in your area. Make sure you stay tuned to United, because when we return, we're going to visit with Dr. Richard Lapchuk, who has seen how much of an impact service can have in places where almost no hope is left. Don't go away. Welcome back to United. I'm Megan Clementi. Being a student athlete is more than just excelling in academics and sports. It's about being a role model and influencing your community for the better. My guest today has been inducted in the Sports Hall of Fame of the Commonwealth Nations in the category of humanitarian, and is currently the director of the DeVos Sports Business Management Program here at the University of Central Florida. Please welcome Dr. Richard E. Lapchuk. Now, the sports program at UCF, the DeVos Sports Business Management Program, the curriculum seems to have an emphasis on community service and philanthropy. Why is that?
Well, I decided to come here because I believe that sport has the power to affect positive change in communities. And I think that the more sports organizations get involved with serving the community, the more athletic departments and student athletes get involved, the better the people who are doing the service are going to be, and certainly the people who receive the service are going to be better off and have a more positive view that people that care about them, that they're reaching out. So we became the only program in the country that makes service a component of this graduate program. Our students have to put in 45 hours a semester of community service, and then they all spend 3 weeks in New Orleans in the lower Ninth Ward, in addition to that, helping to rebuild that devastated community.
Why do you feel that sports is such a powerful tool when it comes to bringing together a community?
Well, I think there's something about sports that makes it different. It makes us pull together. If you are a member of a team, there's no other place in this country where it suddenly doesn't matter when you get in that huddle if you're African American or white or Latino or Asian American or Native American or Arab American, whether you're Protestant, Catholic, Buddhist, Sikh, Jew, Hindu or Muslim, young or old, gay or straight. You can't win if the team doesn't pull together. Those differences all have to melt away. And if we can bring that out of that huddle into the community, into our classrooms, into corporate America, what a different place this would be.
What kind of impact can a student athlete have on their community?
I've seen it so often that young people are just in awe of student athletes just because they're student athletes, but when they deliver a positive social message to them about conflict resolution, or we talk a lot about men's violence against women and girls and boys' violence against girls as an issue, and people suddenly realize that this is something that we should be talking about. If this student athlete came here and told us about this because we trained them to be able to do that, young kids will start to open up about a problem that's 26% of high school girls are sexually assaulted while they're in high school. 1 out of 7 college codes will be raped while she's in college. It's a big issue on campuses and in education.
Do you think a student athlete can kind of rally community together to go toward a specific cause or a specific goal?
I think if student athletes are shown the way, because sometimes they don't know when they first start in community service, trained in the issues, they can communicate them better than anybody else because they have that platform. You know, I could go in and talk to a high school group and they're going to say, who the heck is this old guy? But if a student athlete goes in there They've got the credibility. Students want to listen to them. The sports is the hook, but what they deliver is so much more important.
A student athlete is an instant role model, pretty much.
Whether they want to be or not, student athletes are role models. They're designated that way by society. It might not be fair, but in fact it gives them that platform and that power to help young people coming up behind them in ways that most of us can't. It's a real gift.
Is there some standout moment that you've seen from a student athlete in the Orlando area where they've really just gone above and beyond to impact the community?
Well, I think when we've had student athletes as well as sports management students in the city of New Orleans in an area that has been totally devastated by the storm, 3 years later the lower Ninth Ward looks like it looked 2 weeks after the storm. Nothing has been rebuilt. When I see them interacting with the people in the lower Ninth Ward, the few people who are back, it's a magical moment because it makes the people in New Orleans know that people from outside care. I was in New Orleans 6 days after the storm. I went down there with the Orlando Magic on their plane, and we went into those shelters where you saw what you saw on television with people listless, lying on cots, having no hope. They saw the Magic in the front of the room, not even their team. Everybody was up, their eyes were glistening, they had smiles on their faces. And as they moved toward us, we saw suddenly that they all had Saints and Hornets shirts, Saints and Hornets hats, the last article of clothing they were wearing before the storm, and you knew right there what the power of sport was. And that's what sustained us in going back. We've now spent 18 weeks in New Orleans since December 2006.
This is kind of off topic. Before the interview started, you told me a story about the impact that experience had on the students here at UCF. Can you just kind of recapture that story real quick?
Well, I told them when we went down there for the first time in December of 2006 that they'd never be the same people again. And I think people were pretty skeptical. That's a pretty bold statement to make. But in that last time when we got together before we came home, they were so moved by what had happened that they formed a foundation called the Hope for Stanley Foundation to bring student athletes and students from all across the country back to continue that effort to sustain it. It had clearly changed everybody's life, and we've probably had 1,000 people there since then from all around the country. And I can say without, I don't hesitate to say that everybody who's been there has left a different person, a better person.
So it's fair to say that although a student athlete can impact the community can make a student athlete a better person as well.
I think
it's like a win-win situation.
It's a total win-win situation, and you know you're giving something important to the community, but we all knew that we got more out of it than we gave.
Well, thank you very much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Make sure to stay tuned. We have our fitness focus and more United right after the break.
Hey, this is LT from 101.1 WJRR. You're listening to the best sounds of area music. UCF Athletics, Access Magazine, and WJRR are proud to support local artists.
How I loved you to pieces. That's when we fell apart. How I loved you to pieces. But I know it's all my fault. I tried so many ways to show you my feelings.
So many kids nowadays, you see them doing this. PlayStation games, they're sitting around, watching TV, laid back on the couch, eating potato chips and playing with the remote controls, and they don't do any exercise. Well, let me show you a couple of different things you can do. I don't want to hear you say, well, Scott, I don't have a weight room, or I don't have dumbbells, or I don't have this or that or the other. Well, let me show you 5 things you can do to get your lifestyle a little bit more picked up and the exercise program started. Number 1 thing we can do is stand up and sit down. It's called a body weight squat. Every time you get up, sit right back down again. All right? We'll stand up, we'll put our hands on our hips, our feet are shoulder width apart, abs are tight. We'll sit down to our chair or our couch, and we'll stand back up. Do that 10 times before you go get that cup of water or that Gatorade or whatever you may be going to the kitchen for. And each time a commercial comes on, stand up and do 10 body weight squats. Another thing you could do would be an ab exercise for your stomach. You do just a regular body weight sit-up. So many people say, well, I don't have anybody here with me to hold my feet. Well, I can't do a sit-up. Well, let's use our chair or our couch for that. Simply take your feet and put them under your chair. Lay down on your back, cross your hands over your chest. Now we're going to use the weight of the chair to hold our feet down, and we're going to do our sit-up. So now we got 2 exercises. We did a body weight squat, we did a sit-up. Each one of these exercises can be performed anywhere between 10 and 15 repetitions. 2 minutes for a commercial, you can go 10 to 15 repetitions before a whole commercial is even done. Third exercise you could do is a push-up, and we'll take it in 3 progressions. The first push-up I'm gonna show you is probably the easiest. Stand on the back of your couch or your chair. Hands are a little wider and shoulder width apart. Use the chair, come down, touch your chest, and back up. Regular push-up. To make this more difficult, go on the side of the chair. Now we're working to get our body, instead of upright, a little bit more parallel to the ground. So we'll hold here, we'll do our push-up here. Now, to challenge you a little bit more, if you're able to do a regular push-up on the ground, let's take our feet and put it on top of the chair. And now we'll do our push-up this way. Just another degree of difficulty to make that push-up harder. When you're doing the decline push-up, remember to keep your abs tight, your butt a little bit in the air. You don't want to sag in the waist. I'll show you 2 reps improperly, and then the rest of my repetitions will be the proper way to do it. That's 3 exercises. Number 4, we're going to work our triceps, the back of our arm, triceps. We can use the chair again for this. We can call it a chair dip or a bench dip. Now we're going to perform the bench dip. My legs are straight, I'll come down and back up, bend at the elbow. To make this exercise easier, bend your knees. Now I'm pushing up less weight. Again, I'm working my triceps, the back of the arm. You can perform this exercise 10 to 15 repetitions each commercial. The last exercise I want to show you, you may make sure your mom or dad's not around if you're doing this, or you have nice furniture, or just take your shoe off. But it's a step up for your legs. We're going to step up on top of the couch or the chair and back down. Step up and back down. And all we're doing is taking our other leg and driving it to the ceiling. We got a simple living room chair right here that we're able to do 5 exercises on. A step up, a bench dip, a push up, a body weight squat, and a sit up. We incorporated the whole body right there. Try it on a commercial break. 10 repetitions would be great. Each time you do it, maybe try 11 or 12 on the next commercial break. Give it a shot, see what happens. It can make you a healthier individual.